Hi, I'm Larissa from Your Horse Magazine, and I'm here today at Your Horse Live 2014 with Jon Pitts. Jon, lovely to meet you. You've been on our equine learning zone today. How have you found it?
Really good, yeah, it's been great fun. I brought along Paul Tapner as well for a bit of fun and get the crowd going a little bit. But great little venue here and a great little area where we've got lots of room to demonstrate things and been a really good crowd, yeah.
Fantastic. And can you tell us a little bit about Fit to Ride and what you do and what you've been talking about today?
Okay, well, Fit to Ride is basically it's a tool for the wider riding community, really, where I've been very lucky to work with some of the world's best riders, and it's quite clear, having done that, in looking at how we can make them better, that essentially top riders do things a little bit differently to everybody else, and really a lot of that lies in how they use their bodies in a different way. So Fit to Ride is about saying, well, hang on a minute, we can do this a different way, where perhaps we can keep people a bit more confident and a bit safer if they're understanding more about what they're trying to do and how the horse will respond better to what they're trying to do as well.
And so what are the most sort of common problems you come across with riders? You know, is it more of a physical side in terms of their position, or of a mental block, things like that?
It can be either, and a combination of the two, really. Essentially what I come across is that in the skill acquisition process, and there's a lot of sort of neuroscience and how our brain works underneath this, but essentially we don't really understand what we're trying to do or how our body is operating on our horse. When we ride our horses, our anxiety levels go up, and our brain makes our bodies do certain things which, for instance, we're not symmetrical. We're not designed to be symmetrical. And if riders don't understand that, and they don't understand what their bodies are actually sort of transmitting and communicating to the horse, then it can be quite difficult and quite hard, certainly for riders, to understand why things are going wrong and how to put it right.
And so are there ways to put it right, or is it a case of just accepting that you're not going to be symmetrical, you know, or are there actually little devices and techniques you can use to become symmetrical, at least in your riding?
Yeah, look, there are lots of ways to do it. I think biomechanics, rider biomechanics, has become a massive sort of buzzword out there now. But you see, biomechanics is basically how your body has shifted to cope with what it's trying to do. So as an assessment tool, it's great. But really what we've got to do is understand what's going on behind the scenes, what's going on in our brains that is actually forcing our bodies to do this. And that really, again, is yes, we can do things. We can help the brain to understand what it's trying to do and put people on their horses and help them to feel how the change in what they do in their body changes the horse, and actually then it helps them to ride better and get the results they want.
Of course. And obviously you've not just worked in the horse world. Is it football, cricket, tennis, golf, am I correct?
Yeah.
How does that differ, and you know, what did you do in those worlds?
It's twofold, really. I mean, first of all, yes, very lucky to have worked in lots of different sports, and it's really good to be able to see, you know, what's going on in different sports and try and apply it to what we can perhaps do in riding. But also riding is completely different in terms of physically and mentally, and it's quite exciting to understand a bit more about this sport and then take lessons from. Yeah, there's an element of danger in what we do, taking that back to other sports, which are probably a little bit safer. The beauty as well is that, having sort of worked both in this country and also in Australia, you know, I've been very lucky to be part of the different Olympic systems from that perspective as well. So it gives you a good cross references to everything that goes on. So it allows me not to become pigeonholed, but by the same token design things that are relevant to those sports in which I'm working.
Fantastic. And can you do any name dropping of the people, the riders that you've worked with? Is Paul one of them, Paul Tapner?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. So for the last 5 odd years, I've worked for the Australian high performance team. So Tappers, Lucinda Fredericks, Chris Burton, Sam Griffiths, they would all be riders who we sort of worked with over the years. Previous to that, I was part of the world class system, and very lucky to work with some of our top dressage riders like Laura, and also from the eventing side of things, William Fox-Pitt, Mary King, Tina Cook, people like that. So again, it's been such a privilege, I have to say, to be able to understand and measure these guys and work out what it is that makes them so good.
Well, that's fantastic. And are you looking forward to seeing anybody else at Your Horse Live over this weekend?
Well, it will be good to see a bit of Carl, obviously. That's always entertaining. You sort of go around the world and do these things, and I remember watching him down in Australia, I think it was last year, at Equitana, which is their sort of big thing. And yeah, and I'm probably good to go along and watch Tappers as well. You know, barrack him as much as possible and, you know, give him a hard time.
Of course, I think he likes to do that to other people, so yeah. And as it's getting towards Christmas, what are you doing for Christmas, and what is on your Christmas list?
Well, very luckily, in about a week or so's time, I'm going to fly to Australia, try and get out of this weather a little bit. So I'm doing sort of a month over there in terms of teaching and presentations and things over there. So up until about, sort of right up to Christmas, we'll be in Australia. coming back and hopefully trying to relax a bit, to be honest. It's always a time of year where nobody really does anything, so you can kind of turn the phone off and not do anything.
And what do you like to do in your downtime then? Just completely chill out?
Oh, it's a difficult question, that, because I guess I'm so lucky to do what I do, but you know, it drives you all the time, and I'm always thinking about things that I want to try and do a bit more, so trying to get my brain to switch off is quite tricky. But generally, I like to read and just relax, and maybe actually do a bit of riding myself. That would be nice, having time to do that.
Brilliant. What's your chosen discipline?
Oh, I don't do that much, to be honest. I mean, basically, I came to it sort of, you know, from a non-riding perspective, but it became quite obvious to me that I was going to have to get on the horses and have a go at it. So we just sort of go hacking and just riding a bit on the flat. My jumping career is yet to take off, but it's one of those things that, having sort of worked around all these guys, I kind of think I need to squirrel myself away, practice quite a lot before I come out there. There is the Australian team vet, a guy called Jon Pitts. He's just bought himself a horse, and for the first time in his life he's just started riding. And my problem is that now people are saying, well, his surname is Potts and obviously mine's Pitts, so we're known as Pitsy and Potsy. And essentially there seems to be a bit of a riding challenge which is developing, so I'm going to have to do a bit of work on that.
Oh, you're going to have to step up your game, aren't you? Thank you so much, Jon. Enjoy the rest of the show. Good luck with it all.
Thank you.